The Biden administration proposing to reduce or eliminate student loan balances for millions of borrowers, according to the Wall Street Journal. The regulations set to be issued as soon as next week. This comes after the Supreme Court overturned the administration's first debt cancellation plan last year. Well, if this latest attempt doesn't pan out, again, what can you do to lower your student loan balance? For more on this, we've got Betsy Mayotte, who is the Institute of Student Loan Advisors founder and president, here with us. Betsy, thanks so much for taking the time here with us. First and foremost, there's a deadline to this, and the April 30th deadline that a lot of people might have been getting notifications about already. What do they need to know about that deadline?
The deadline has to do with borrowers that might benefit by consolidating their federal student loans to take advantage of something called the one-time account adjustment. Now, to be clear, most borrowers aren't going to have to do anything to get this adjustment, but borrowers who have older FFEL or Perkins loans, or maybe they have loans that have been in repayment for different periods of time, they are going to want to consolidate by April 30th to get the most benefits they can out of this one-time adjustment.
How do people apply for that? Do they need to apply for that?
They don't have to apply for the adjustment. If they have federal direct loans, that adjustment's just going to happen. But if they do need to consolidate, they can do that online, super easy, at studentaid.gov, which is the Department of Ed's website.
And then loan forgiveness. I mean, this has been what so many borrowers have been waiting for, trying to make sure that they are qualifying for as well. What are the prerequisites for those who do qualify versus don't qualify?
Yeah, so what the one-time account adjustment does is it gives borrowers credit for every period that they've been in repayment towards the forgiveness component that exists under the income-driven repayment plan, such as the SAVE plan that we've heard so much about. So normally to get forgiveness under those plans, you have to be on the plan for either 20 or 25 years. But this one-time account adjustment will give you credit for all periods you've already been in repayment, even if you weren't on one of those plans.
We know that this has been on the docket for the Biden administration multiple times at this juncture. What's the likelihood that we see a different result this time?
Well, this particular one-time account adjustment is already rolling. I think at this point, they plan to have all the accounts adjusted by the fall. I am cautiously optimistic that this particular waiver is going to be left alone.
Interesting. Why is that?
Because it hasn't been killed yet, and we're sort of already halfway to the finish line. It's much harder to unwrap accounts that have already been adjusted and people that have already had forgiveness than it is to stop something before it started.
Certainly. Okay, so everyone is going to need to be on an income-driven plan to accrue the rest of the payments needed for forgiveness, right? And how do they go about setting that up correctly?
Most borrowers, again, just need to go to studentaid.gov. There's a couple great tools there. One, a loan simulator tool, which is a calculator that'll tell you what your payment will be on each plan and whether or not you'd end up with some forgiveness and how much it's going to cost you over time. And then you can also apply for the income-driven plans right through that website, regardless of who your loan servicer is.
Are people able to, if they've been paying for 20, 25 years, 2 decades we're talking of payments, are they going to be able to apply for, I don't know, some type of refund or anything?
After the one-time account adjustment is done, if it turns out the borrower made more than the 20 or 25 years worth of payments, and they haven't consolidated recently, then they will get an automatic refund for those extra payments.
Really interesting. Betsy, thank you so much for giving us the tips that we all need to navigate some of these student loan payments out here. Betsy Mayotte, who is the Institute of Student Loan Advisors founder and president. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.